Hello my friends, I'm Lucas and you're watching coldemonspl. If you like my work, please remember to click thumb up, subscribe to my channel and write some comments. Today I would like to show you how to create desert version of modern pixel camo. For this I will use the model of Chinese ZTL-11 vehicle, the construction of which I presented in my book published by Aker Interactive. In the part devoted to the ZTL-11 model you will find all stages of its implementation. If you are interested in this book, find the link to a quick review I prepared earlier and also direct link to an online store and just order it. Okay, enough of this personal advertising. This is what the finished model looks like with full weathering and mounted on a stand. I think it's spectacular, and if you would like to have this model in your collection, just let me know. What you see now is for sale, like all my models. The Chinese Power Book is a good basis for making any model in the colors of the Chinese army. It's really must-have for all modern armor fans. So the first thing is to apply an appropriate primer to the model, which will be a strong base for applying the paint. Starting the painting, the first color is olive green. Even though there are a few dark pixels, I prefer to cover all surfaces thoroughly so as not to paint over small fragments later and to be sure that the layer of color is uniform on all surfaces. I leave the model to dry and start preparing the pixel masking tape. I will use Easy Cutting Mat Type 2 from Aker Interactive for this purpose. This is a very useful mat made of thick plastic with grooves for guiding the knife. It shortens the time needed to cut out pixels, but also make it easier to cut them evenly from the masking tape. I prepare individual pixels but also blocks of 2, 3 and even 4 to compose appropriate shapes. I used available photos and to be honest, they weren't many of them. In some places I guessed what the pixels should look like, so I must admit that my version is not an exact copy of the painting that is done on these vehicles in factories or military units. By the way, it's worth working with good masking tape. In this case, Tamiya tape was the main material. The video shows how easy it's to cut the tape by running the knife in the grooves. Applying pixels takes a little more time and it's worth doing it carefully. Make sure that the tape adheres well to the surface of the model because it will later affect the appearance of the pixels. Of course, some minor imperfections will add good look and realism. It's important that the spaces between individual pieces of tape are well masked. Therefore, even after laying the entire block, it's worth putting some additional pieces of tape on top to be sure that the paint won't make too much of a mess if it flows between the pixels of the tape. As a result, I have prepared the first masking. As you can see, there are actually not too many green pixels, but it doesn't affect the final appearance of the entire camo. Before you start painting, it's worth checking all pixels carefully to see if they adhere well to the surface. Just press them with your finger. The second camo color is sand, which I apply in the same way as green, which means on the entire model. First a light layer and then a second one to completely cover the green. I repeat the entire procedure of cutting out pixels and gluing them to the model. Pay special attention to metal elements such as the exhaust cover. It's very easy to scratch off the paint here if you don't properly prepare the surface first. In addition to the normal primer, it's worth coating metal elements with a metal primer. Honestly, I was a little scared when masking these fragments in this model, but I managed to do it without any losses. I repeat the procedure of checking adhesion to the surface. A painting curiosity. I use the same color for the second time to fill any gaps with the second color. This way the next color won't flow under the masking tape. Now the model is ready to be covered with a very light sandy shade. So I'm painting the entire model again because it's the base color of the vehicle. I try to paint thin layers that should dry quickly. And now the most pleasant task, removing the masking tape. You have to do it carefully so that not even the smallest piece of masking tape is left anywhere. This happened to me once and I ended up having to weather this small exposed piece. Removing the tape is definitely faster than applying it, but you can also immediately see the effect and any errors that will need to be repaired. But as I mentioned, some imperfections are worth leaving to increase realism. As we are approaching the end, I would like to traditionally mention my friends who are my awesome patrons. The people who help me the most are Bulldog09, Christopher Obarski, Dan Dibuła, Dan Majchrzak, Hans Zapp, Karstonik Keddy and Steve Ankin. But the people listed just now are also my great patrons. Please don't forget that you can be one of them. And I realize it's not easy these days, but if you have a few bucks you could drop in my cup, that would be great. Thanks! After 2 days of work, the effect is quite good, isn't it? Thanks for watching, don't forget to click like, subscribe to my channel and write some comments. That's all for today, see you next time, cheers!